Hi guys. Now, after everything that has happened today and yesterday, and basically the past 7 or 10 days in Kenya, I feel compelled to make this video. And I just want to give a disclaimer that I'm not making this video as a leader of anybody. The views I'm going to express in this video are coming from my own heart. And I felt that since I've been communicating a lot of what I think and what I stand for through videos, I thought it was going to be a good idea to make this video. So I'm making this video after we've all seen, what the president has said. And the question that a lot of people, that a lot of guys are asking themselves right now is Kairo going to be in the streets tomorrow? And I just want to confirm one thing. The past protest, the one for yesterday and the one that we had last week, I was in the front line. I was in the front line when guys were shot in parliament. I saw that guy get killed. I was on the front line before we even got to parliament, and we pushed those cops, that unit that was manning City Hall, when we pushed them all the way from Pronto, all the way back to parliament, and inside parliament, I still made it inside there. So I'm talking from the perspective of a guy who's been at the front line of these things, and we've all seen how things have really escalated. But I want to tell guys one thing. After what has happened today, I feel like we've had a very big win. A very, 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 very huge win. Because we've been dealing with a regime that, number one, is very arrogant. Number two, we've been dealing with a regime that is inept. Number three, we've been dealing with a regime that is corrupt. But one thing that gives me hope, despite everything that has happened, is the fact that we saw them climb down. It might not look like a very huge achievement to some of you, but for a bill that they had sworn and showed us that they were going to pass it whether we liked it or not, the fact that they've been able to climb down to where we wanted them to come, that's a big achievement. And that means that I feel that if we go to the streets again tomorrow, we might erode whatever we've been able to gain today. So, with the same conviction I had when I took this phone and I told people that I was going to be in the streets, when I took this phone and I went to the streets and filmed everything that was happening around me, is the same conviction I have inside me, that we should not go to the streets tomorrow. I feel that we need to give dialogue a chance. The same way that they've felt our presence, they've seen what we can do. I feel that this card we want to use tomorrow, where where I've seen people saying we should march on State House. I feel that it will be very unwise to use this card at this particular point. And I'm going to give two reasons why. The first reason is, assuming theoretically we had 1 million people, 2 million people, which I'm very sure we can get, and we march from State House tomorrow, and the president is forced to resign, it is not going to solve all of Kenya's problems magically. Remember, countries are governed based on systems. There's a judiciary system, there's a parliamentary system, and you have the executive. All these systems work in sync, and every time there's an upset, especially during elections or even military takeovers, a lot of instability follows. Instability which affects economies, and instability which can also bring bigger problems, as we've seen in countries like Sudan. So my appeal would be, since we have brought them to where we wanted them to come, let's give them a month. As the same Gen Zs, as this Gen Z movement has proved, it's very organic, nobody's funding it. We can always come back after 1 month and say, whatever the president said, because the president has promised very many things. He's talked about, cutting down on wastage. He's also talked about corruption and all those things. Let's give him time and see what happens. If within a month or within 2 months we feel that nothing is going to change or nothing has changed, we can always come back to the spaces, to the TikToks, to the Facebook, to the Instagrams, and say that we're going to go to the streets again. But at this particular point, I feel that we would be making a mistake if we went to the streets again tomorrow. And this is not from a point of cowardice. This is from a point of patriotism. It's from a point of also looking at the bigger picture, which is basically the country. It's also a point of looking and appreciating that if we love our country, Kenya, then we should also not stand for anything that will bring instability to this country or even bring it down. So tomorrow you will not see me on the streets. I'm not going to tell people not to go to the streets. It's your own prerogative. But I feel that I owe the country an explanation if they don't see me on the streets tomorrow. So I will not be joining you in the streets tomorrow. If people go to the streets tomorrow and whatever happens again, as we have kept on saying, this movement does not have a leader. So this is just the opinion of one person. It does not present the opinion of all the other millions of Kenyans. But if you watch this video and you listen to me, please take time to process it and take time to heed to my advice.